Thank you, Joel. And how appropriate this all ties in together, because my talk today is about faith and it's about change. And Kim, wow! Fabulous. This is her first time up. Excellent, excellent. So it goes to show that taking the classes, you truly can learn and you can grow and you can move your consciousness, especially when you get the minister or the teacher that's like in your face with the lesson. Get over it. Get over it. And how great that so many of you have gone through the classes and have moved your consciousness. In fact, there are so many of you that we've created a special program for all the graduates who have completed a class in this year from 2011 to 2012. And I'm not going to go through and read all of the names, but your name is there. And if your name's not there and we somehow misadvertently did not get it in there, let us know so that we can keep our records as clear as possible. But practical mysticism, 5 gifts, foundations, this thing called you, ecclesiastical training, quick start, Rumi, 5 gifts, and practitioner 1, practitioner 2. There's just so much going on here. So mind-body connection just completed. So what I'd like to do is, if you have participated in a class in this center in this last year, 2011, 2012, would you please stand so we can acknowledge you? Yeah. It's absolutely marvelous and wonderful, and it's a demonstration of who we are and what we are about. It's in the classwork, it's in the study, it's in the practice of Science of Mind that brings us to a new level of consciousness. And I'm forever saying, not forever, recently, I have a new statement that I've started to bring out, is that the Center for Spiritual Living is an institution of learning and growing consciousness, and we do some Sunday service. I think it's important that we recognize this, that Science of Mind is about the study of the principles. It's about the practice of the principles. And that's got to be more than just showing up for an hour on Sunday. It means that you have to do the work. You have to read the material. You have to come forth and have the experience of learning that even though you show up with complaint after complaint after complaint, you will reach that point and that level in consciousness where you have an awakening. And you'll know it right at that moment, that you know, that you know, that you know. And it brings you to a new revelation. And you begin to see that things begin to shift and change in your life. And so those who are licensed practitioners, those who have gone through the studies, and it's like at least 4 years of study, to get to that place to be eligible to sit before a panel of peers that will bless you and determine that you are now ready to become a licensed practitioner. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, says anyone and everyone who's studying this and putting this into practice is a practitioner. And then there are those who are licensed practitioners who have reached a level of understanding to where they now can be of service to others in order to move that consciousness forward. And so this year, we've completed year 1 of practitioner studies, and we've had 2 students, and they have graduated from year 1, and they are now eligible for year 2. I don't believe Joe Salata is here, but Paul Heater is here. So let's acknowledge Paul. So as they enter into the second year, now they are practitioner interns, and I get to boss them a little bit more. And then we've had an individual who has completed year 2, has already taken the exam, and even though headquarters hasn't given us the results, I know without a doubt that she has fully, completely achieved and passed the exam and will now be standing before the oral panel in order to receive her licensed practitioner. So let's acknowledge on her graduation, Mary Birch. So very soon she'll be standing up here with all the other licensed practitioners and ministers. As a colleague who has gone through the work, who has done the study, who has looked at her life and has made the choice, the very conscious choice, that she knows that there is a power and a presence within her, and that this allows her to call upon it and bring forth that essence that is already there in order to change her life for something that is even more magnificent and more wonderful and more beautiful than she had ever imagined. And from there it only increases. And as Kim says, not only does it multiply, but 10 times, 100 times. And it only gets better. And there is never a completion to it until one reaches enlightenment. And when you reach enlightenment, you'll have no need for this world. So until then, it's a practice, it's a study, it's something that we are moving forward into. And so as we have been working together, and most of you I know have been following the theme of this year, where we are studying the Science of Mind textbook in 1 year. So there's a passage, there's a reading, there's a meditation, there is something that has been laid out for us that we can do on a daily basis that begins to bring us through the Science of Mind textbook. And I know this is not easy. And I've been through it many times. And I'm going through it again, along with all of the rest of you. And sometimes I read this and I'm going, what? What is this about? Where are we going with this? And we've been recently in this section that's talking about being a practitioner. It's about talking about doing our affirmative prayer, what we call spiritual mind treatment. And it's talking about the consciousness of who we are. And it's talking about this idea of changing our life. And I don't believe that it's by any accident that the reading in this month's Science of Mind magazine by Ernest Holmes, and every month they put in a section from our founder Ernest Holmes out of one of the many books that he's written, and it highlights kind of the theme of where the magazine is going for the month. And this month it's about change. And in here, Ernest Holmes begins to speak about this idea that, we have the power and the presence within us. It's called the ultimate change. The ultimate change. You can bring forth into your life whatever it is that you so desire. And he begins and he says, each of us, not some of us, not a few of us, not a selected chosen group, but each of us is drawing from life what we think into it. You are responsible for your life in that way of what you are thinking into it. Where you are thinking from is what you are attracting, what you are co-creating, what you are allowing to come into the experience of your life. Because first and foremost, you are already a spiritual being. one, whole, perfect, complete.